Sri Gurubhyo Namah children, welcome to the online session. Already we are dealing with colloids. What is a colloid? It is a, what is it? Heterogeneous substance, heterogeneous mixture which will have two or more substances. And in the previous class I told about the classification of colloids based on the type of interaction between the dispersed phase and dispersion medium, how colloids are classified. Based on the physical state of the dispersed phase and dispersion medium, how colloids are classified. Based on the size of the particles present in the dispersed phase, how colloids are classified. All these things we have seen in the previous case. Now we are going to talk about the missile formation. What are these missiles? How these missiles are formed and how these missiles play a greater role in the cleansing action of soap. We are going to talk about the missile formation. What is a missile? Missiles are species. What are missiles? Missiles are species. What are missiles? Missiles are species. Missiles are species with two different ends. Missiles are species with two different ends. What are the two different ends? One is hydrophilic, the other one is hydrophobic. So here this slide completely talks about the mechanism of missile formation, how missiles are formed. What are missiles? Missiles are species that has two different ends. It will have two different ends. One is hydrophilic end. So this end we can call it as hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means what? Solvent loving. Solvent loving. So missile has got two different ends. One is hydrophilic end, that is solvent loving end. There will be very close, it will be very closer to the solvent. What is solvent here? Actually dispersion medium. So here the hydrophilic end, that will be very much closer to the solvent. They are solvent loving end. What is hydrophobic tail? So hydrophobic tail, they are nothing but solvent hating. So here this slide talks about the mechanism of missile formation. What is the mechanism for missiles? Before starting with, I want to talk about missiles. What are missiles? Missiles are species that has two different ends. It will have two different ends. One is hydrophilic end, that is very closer to the water. The end which is very closer to the water, they are solvent loving ends. So they will be very closer to the solvent. The other end we can call it as hydrophobic end. We can call it as hydrophobic tail. That is head, this is tail. Hydrophilic head and hydrophobic tail. Hydrophilic head, hydrophilic means solvent loving. They will be very closer to the surface of the solvent. So we can call it as hydrophilic head. Whereas the other part we can call it as hydrophobia. Phobia means fear. They don't like the solvent. So they will be away from the surface of the solvent. So we can call it as hydrophobic tail. So this tail part is nothing but they are what is that? They are having fear of water. They don't like the solvent. That is why they are away from the surface of the solvent. So this missile formation, so we can see the hydrophilic end, hydrophilic head which will be towards the water, and hydrophobic tail, they will be away from the water. So there are two different ends. One is hydrophilic end, another one is hydrophobic end. The hydrophilic end will be towards the surface of water, towards the surface of the solvent, towards the surface of water. Here water, we are using water as a solvent. That's why hydro means water. So the hydrophilic end, they will be very closer to the surface of the water, whereas the hydrophobic end, they are away from the water. So actually this one already I told you. What type of dirt we are having in our cloth? It can be a oily dirt or greasy dirt. So what type of dirt usually we will have in the clothes? So it will be a oily dirt or greasy dirt. How we are going to remove that oil or greasy dirt in the clothes? So here actually once again we are going to see, already I told about soaps. Soaps are nothing but sodium or potassium salts of higher fatty acids. So here your dirt is the oily dirt. So see here, what is that? Actually there are two different phases here. One is aqueous phase. Aqueous means water. The other one is oily phase. So one is aqueous phase, that is water. The other one is oily phase. And when you talk about this, what is the tail part? This tail part, what is that? They are away from the surface of water. They are away from the surface of water. Whereas the, what is that? These parts, they are hydrophilic in nature. They are closer to the water. So these parts are, what is that? Hydrophilic. So they are closer towards water, hydrophilic in nature. So you can see this ball-like appearance. The ball-like appearance, what is that? Denotes the hydrophilic part. So that's why they are very closer to the water. Whereas the tail part, we can call it as hydrophobic in nature. That's why they are away from the surface of water. When you talk about the, what is that? Actually, we are discussing about the stearate ion. What is the formula for stearate ion? C17H35 COONA. C17H35 COONA. So this is, what is that? Stearate ion. Sodium stearate. So when this stearate ion, so actually this stearate ion, how it is dissolved in water, this stearate ion in water, how it will be? Actually you can see the, what is that? These ball-like structure which are very closer to the water, the ball-like structure which are closer to the water, and the tail part which is away from the water. The tail part is hydrophobic in nature. So hydrophobic. So they are away from the water, whereas the head part, that is ball-like appearance, so they will have, what is that? Hydrophilic in nature, they are closer to the water. So this is the stearate ion. So when it is dissolved in water, what will happen? You will be getting negatively charged C17H35 C17H35 COO minus plus Na plus. So this is anion and this is cation. So this stearate ion, so it will be, what is that? We can call it as ionic missile. What is this ionic missile? You will have, what is that? The hydrophobic end closer to the dirt, tail closer to the dirt, oily dirt, is it not? Which is oily. So they are oily in nature. So the tail part is very closer to the oily dirt, whereas the COO minus, we can call it as a head part. So they are closer towards the water. They will be towards the water. And this is actually the missile formation, where these spherical shape, it talks about the hydrophilic, solvent loving. You see these balls, they are closer to the solvent water. They are closer to water. They are, what is that? They are very much closer to the surface of the water. So they are water loving. Is it not? Hydro means water. They are water loving, solvent loving. What is the solvent we are taking here? Water. So these spherical like appearance, we can call it as, what is that? Ionic part. So they are very closer to the water, whereas the other end, the end, that is the tail part which is away from the water. So the tail, hydrocarbon tail. Hydrocarbon tail. So what is that? It is accumulated towards the dirt. It is closer to the dirt. So it is away from water. So actually this slide talks about the missile formation, where missiles are nothing but species which has two different end. One is hydrophilic end, solvent loving, so they will be very closer to the surface of the solvent, that is water here. The other one is hydrocarbon tail. So this hydrocarbon part, the tail part, so they are hydrophobic in nature, they will be away from the solvent, away from the surface of the water. And here these sodium stearate, when dissolved in water, I will be getting stearate ion C17H35 COO minus with the liberation of Na plus. So the stearate ion in water, so actually the the ionic end will be closer towards the water, we can call it as hydrophilic head, whereas the tail part is called as hydrophobic, they are away from the water. That's why it has been shown that the tail part is away from the water. And this picture once again talks about the ionic missiles, where the spherical shaped structures, it talks about the ionic end, hydrophilic in nature towards the surface of water, whereas the hydrocarbon tail, they are away from the solvent, because they are they won't like the solvent, that's why they are away from the solvent, that's why we can call it as hydrocarbon tail. The next one, we are going to say how soap acts on water. What is the cleansing action of soap on water? So we are going to see how the oily dirt or greasy dirt in the cloth is removed with the help of a soap, cleansing action. How these missile formations are possible, how we can able to remove the oily dirt from the cloth. So actually I told about the so this is the already cleansing with water alone has little effect when stains consist of non-polar substances such as grease and sweat. So all these are soap molecules. So what is that actually? Soap molecule has two ends. What are the two ends of the soap molecule? One is hydrocarbon end. We can call it as, so we can call it as, this is tail, this is head. Is it not? So tail part we can call it as hydrophobic in nature, hydrophobic. And head part, what is that? It is hydrophilic. So the hydrophilic part, you see, they are closer, the ball-like structures. These are the ball-like structures, ionic ends, is it not? Ionic ends. So they are closer towards the water, and the hydrocarbon ends, they are away from the water. So here actually oil or grease like structures, usually we will be getting the dirt which can be oily dirt or greasy dirt. The structure of soaps allows fats and oils. So this missile formation which is taking place, so it helps to break away from the fabric, which can be the oil or greasy dirt can be easily broken away from the fabric and dispersed in water. So this cleansing with water, soap action, what is the action of soap in water? Soaps will form missiles in water, where it has got two different end, hydrophilic end, that is ball like structures which are closer to the surface of water, and hydrophobic tail which are away from the water. So these, usually the type of dirt we have on the cloth is oily or greasy dirt. So definitely these oily dirts or greasy dirts can be easily broken away from the cloth, and it can be all these impurities gets dispersed in water. So during cleaning, so when we are going to clean our cloth, when we are going to remove the dirt in our cloth, what is the procedure? The hydrophobic tails dissolve in a droplet of oil. So the hydrophobic tail will be there, they will be closer to the surface of oil or grease, whilst the hydrophilic head face out into the surrounding water. So you can see now these, this is the hydrophobic tail, they are closer towards the dirt. This is a dirt. So dirt is also a hydrocarbon. Is it not? Dirt is also a hydrocarbon. And your tail is also a hydrocarbon part. So the tail part will be closer to the dirt. So the tail part, that is hydrocarbon end, which will be closer to the dirt. Dirt is also a hydrocarbon. Oily dirt is also hydrocarbon. So the tail part will be closer to the dirt, and it is a droplet of oil. The hydrophilic heads phase out into the surrounding water. See the hydrophilic end, ionic end, they are towards the surface of water. Hydrophilic end, they are towards the surface of water, towards the water surface. So the hydrophobic end, they are away from the surface of water. Where they are accumulated, they are very closer to the dirt, because what type of dirt we have? Oily or greasy dirt, which is nothing but hydrocarbon. Is it not? So the hydrocarbon tail is closer to the dirt, which is also a hydrocarbon, whereas the hydrophilic end, the ball-like structures, they are, ionic end. That's why you can see these ball-like structures which are hydrophilic in nature, they are very closer to the water surface. And what is happening here? So these ball-like structures with the agitation or scrubbing. So when soap is dissolved in water, we are getting missile formation where there are two different ends. Hydrophilic end closer to the surface of water, hydrophobic end, they will be away from the surface of water. Here we are having a dirt like oily or greasy dirt, which is nothing but hydrocarbon. So when the missile is there in soap, when soap form missiles in water, the hydrocarbon end, it will be closer to the dirt, because dirt is also hydrocarbon, like dissolves like. So here the hydrocarbon tail will be closer towards the the oily dirt or greasy dirt, whereas the hydrophilic end will be their ball-like structures. I told you these ball-like structures, they are attracted towards the water. That's why they are lying towards the surface of water. What we are doing now, it results in ball-like structure with agitation or scrubbing. So by agitation or scrubbing the grease, what is happening? It becomes dislodged from the surface. So what is happening? By agitating or scrubbing the cloth, what is happening? The dirt is dislodged, and finally what is happening from the cloth surface, and further soap ions attach themselves. So what is happening? The non-polar substances such as oil and grease are held inside the balls. So as a result, what is happening? Ball-like structures already I told you. So what is happening to the oil or dirty, greasy dirt? What is happening here? Actually, by agitation or scrubbing, these oil particles or greasy particles, what is happening? It becomes dislodged from the surface of the cloth, and it gets accumulated in the balls, and these ions gets accumulated in the balls, spherical balls. These non-polar substances, oil and grease, are held inside the ball and suspended. Finally what is happening? It will be suspended, dispersed in the water. So here cleansing action of soap. When soap is dissolved in water, it forms missile formation. What is a missile? Actually missiles are species which have two different ends, that is hydrophilic head, hydrophobic tail. What is hydrophilic head? It will be closer towards the surface of water. Hydrophobic tail, they will be away from the surface of water. Actually what type of dirt we are having on the cloths? It can be a oily dirt or greasy dirt. Actually oil or grease is nothing but hydrocarbon. Here the tail part of the soap is also, missile is also hydrocarbon in nature, like dissolves like. So what is happening here? When you see the missile, one end will be the spherical end, which is spherical balls which are closer to the surface of water. The tail part is very closer to the oil, because oil is also hydrocarbon, the tail part is also an hydrocarbon. So what is happening while cleaning? What we are doing? While agitating or scrubbing the cloth, what is happening? The dirt is, it can be removed from that, and finally these dirt gets accumulated on the spherical balls, thereby it is completely dissolved in water. So this is the cleansing action of soap. The next one, we are going to talk about the preparation of colloids. So far we have discussed about the classifications we have discussed. After that I told about the mechanism of missile formation, how missiles are formed, how cleansing action of soap, how dirt can be removed from the cloth, what is the mechanism, already we have seen this. And this slide completely talks about the preparation of colloids. How are colloids prepared? There are so many methods for the preparation of colloids. The first method is chemical method, chemical reactions. So what is the first type of preparation? So it is based on chemical methods. So what is the chemical method? Using chemical reactions. So first method is chemical method. The second one is electrical disintegration. So what we are doing? We are going to pass electricity and we are going to, what is it? Disintegrate the ions present there. The next one is peptization. So these are the three methods of preparing colloids. The first method is chemical method. We are going to use chemical reactions. We are going to conduct chemical reactions. The second one, electrical disintegration, passing electric current and what is that, preparing the colloids. So this is one. The third one, we are going to talk about peptization. The above said methods are applicable for the preparation of lyophobic salts. Lyophobic salts means what? Water solvent hating colloids. Lyophobic solvent hating colloids. So we are going to give preference for solvent hating colloids. Here we are going to discuss about the preparation of solvent hating colloids. What is solvent hating colloids? Lyophobic. Lyophobia. Phobia means fear. So fear of solvent. So particularly we are going to talk about the preparation of lyophobic salts. Lyophilic salts are quite stable. So there are two different types of colloids, lyophilic, lyophobic. Lyophilic means what? Solvent loving colloids, they are quite stable, whereas lyophobic colloids are solvent hating colloids and they are unstable. So when you talk about lyophilic colloids, they are quite stable and hence can be prepared by shaking the material to be dispersed with the dispersion medium. So simple methods can be used for preparing lyophilic colloids, as it is a, what is that, solvent loving colloids. Just simply it can be prepared by mixing the dispersed phase with the dispersion medium, by mixing the solute and solvent. Simply we can prepare the lyophilic sol because they are solvent loving colloids. Moreover, they are quite stable. When you talk about lyophobic colloids, they are, what is that, they don't like the solvent, they are disliking the solvent. In such a case, what is that, they are found to be unstable. Examples of lyophilic colloids already we have seen: gelatin, gum, starch, etc. All these are examples of lyophilic colloids. So this slide completely talks about the preparation of colloids, where there are three methods of preparation: chemical methods, electrical disintegration and peptization. What is peptization? Converting the precipitate into a colloid. Precipitate is converted into a colloid. Converting the precipitate into a colloid is called as peptization. So there are three methods we are going to see. All these methods are employed for the preparation of lyophobic colloids, which are solvent hating colloids. When you talk about lyophilic colloids are quite stable, they are solvent loving colloids. Simply we can prepare by mixing the dispersed phase and dispersion medium, whereas in case of lyophobic colloids, ordinary methods cannot be employed. So we are going to use some special techniques, as they are solvent loving colloids. Moreover, these lyophobic colloids are unstable in nature. And when you talk about the examples for lyophilic colloids, we can give examples like gelatin, starch, gum, etc. The first method of preparing the colloidal solution, already told you, we are very specific about the lyophobic colloids. So what is the first method? Chemical methods. Chemical methods of preparing the colloids. The first method is, we are going to talk about the chemical methods of preparing colloids. What is a chemical method? Under chemical methods, there are four different reactions we are going to see under chemical methods. So under chemical method of preparing colloids, there are four different techniques. One is double decomposition, second one is oxidation, third one is reduction, fourth one is hydrolysis. So the first method of chemical method of preparing colloid is, under chemical method there are four different chemical reactions we are going to see. One is double decomposition, second one is oxidation, third one is reduction, and fourth one is hydrolysis. So these molecules then aggregate. Aggregate means what? Associates. associate, leading to the formation of solutions. So as a result of these chemical reactions, what is happening? Aggregation is taking place, association is taking place, association of molecules in the solution taking place, giving rise to the colloid. So all these methods we are going to see in detail. The first one we are going to talk about double displacement. What is double displacement? So actually a colloidal solution of arsenious sulfide, arsenious oxide, and what are the two different reactants we are taking here? What are the two different types of reactants we are taking here? One is arsenious oxide, another one is hydrogen sulfide. So what is happening? Arsenious oxide and hydrogen sulfide. When hydrogen sulfide gases pass through arsenious oxide, the ions are interchanging their positions. So what is happening? Sulfide ion will occupy the position of oxygen, whereas oxide ion will occupy the position of what is that? Sulfur. So displacement of ions. The ions will be moving from their places. So the ions, they are interchanging their places. So when hydrogen sulfide gases pass through arsenious oxide ion in arsenic, it is moving towards the other side. It occupies the place of sulfide ion, whereas sulfide ion from hydrogen sulfide, it moves from its place and it occupies the place of oxide ion. As a result, what is happening? Displacement of ions. Both the ions are displacing. They are not in their place. They are moving from their places. So oxide ions, it occupy the position of sulfur, whereas sulfide ions, it occupy the position of oxide ions. Thereby, what is that we are getting? Yellow precipitate of arsenious sulfide. Yellow precipitate of arsenious sulfide. So what is happening here? I am taking arsenious oxide sal in the, what is that, in the apparatus. So hydrogen sulfide gases pass through this. So what is happening here? Exchange of displacement of ions. Displacement of ions. Displacement of oxide and sulfide ions. Displacement of oxide and sulfide ions in the reaction. So giving rise to, what is that we are getting? Yellow precipitate of arsenious sulfide with the liberation of water molecule. The next one we are going to talk about oxidation. What is that actually we are going to do? When hydrogen sulfide gases pass through sulfur dioxide, when hydrogen sulfide gases pass through sulfur dioxide. So what is happening there? We are going to get colloidal sulfur. When hydrogen sulfide gases pass through sulfur dioxide, what is that we are getting? We are getting colloidal sulfur. Sulfur in the colloidal form, colloidal sulfur we are getting with the liberation of water. So here when hydrogen sulfide gases pass through sulfur dioxide, I am getting colloidal sulfur with the liberation of water. So this is again another method of preparing colloid. The next method, reduction. Even reduction can also be used for preparing lyophobic colloids. Particularly here we are going to prepare colloids of noble metals like gold, silver, platinum, etc. Gold, silver, platinum, they are coming under noble metals, is it not? We can also prepare the gold sal, silver sal and platinum sal by reduction. So what is the reducing agent we are using here? Actually we are taking stannous chloride as the reducing agent. Stannous chloride and formaldehyde as the reducing agents here. We are going to use some reducing agents in order to carry out the reduction process. Stannous chloride and formaldehyde, hydrazine, etc. All these are used as reducing agents. So usually this method is employed for what is that? Preparation of noble metals, particularly gold, silver, platinum, etc. can be prepared by this method, reduction method. So what is that we are taking here? I wanted to prepare, what is that? Auric sal. What is auric sal? Gold solution, gold sal. So what is the salt I am taking here? Auric chloride. So when auric chloride is treated with stannous chloride, so what is this AuCl3? Auric chloride. When auric chloride is treated with stannous chloride, So auric chloride is treated with stannous chloride. So what is happening there? Reduction is taking place. I am getting auric sol. Auric sol with the liberation of stannic chloride. Stannous chloride is converted into stannic chloride. So here colloidal solution of gold, silver and platinum are prepared by this method. We are going to use certain reducing agents. It can be a formaldehyde, it can be a stannous chloride, or it can be hydrazine. Here I wanted to prepare a colloidal solution of gold. So what is the salt I am taking here? The salt of gold, auric chloride. So when it is treated with stannous chloride, I will be getting a colloidal solution of gold with the liberation of stannic chloride. Similarly, if I am going to take formaldehyde, if I am using formaldehyde as a reducing agent, when it is added to auric chloride, that is aqueous solution of formaldehyde, so I am adding water here, gold colloid with the liberation of formic acid and HCl. The last method of preparing, we are going to see the last method, which is nothing but hydrolysis. So particularly this method is used for the metals which are less electropositive, the metals which are less electropositive, the oxides of the less electropositive metals can be prepared by this method. For example, we are going to prepare ferric hydroxide sol, reddish brown precipitate. We are going to get the reddish brown precipitate of ferric hydroxide sol. Reddish brown precipitate of ferric hydroxide sol. So here actually it is used to prepare hydroxides and oxides of less electropositive metals, weakly electropositive metals. Some metals are weakly electropositive. Sodium, potassium are strongly electropositive, whereas other metals like iron, aluminium and tin, the oxides and hydroxides of iron, aluminium and tin are weakly electropositive. So in order to prepare the hydroxides or oxides of weakly electropositive metals like iron, aluminium and tin, I am going to employ a method called hydrolysis. Here I am going to get the reddish brown precipitate of ferric hydroxide. What is that I am getting here? What I have taken here? Ferric chloride. When ferric chloride is treated with, when ferric chloride undergoes hydrolysis, I am adding water. So what is the reaction I am taking here? What is that I am getting here? I am getting a reddish brown precipitate of ferric hydroxide. So actually I have taken ferric chloride and I am adding water here. So what is happening? Ferric chloride is converted into reddish brown precipitate of ferric hydroxide with the liberation of HCl. So HCl will be liberated as a byproduct here. So again this is the last method under for the preparation of lyophobic. We have discussed 4 different methods. One is double displacement, second one is oxidation, third one is reduction, fourth one is hydrolysis. Double displacement, the ions they have interchanged their places, oxide and sulfide ions. So we have got a yellow precipitate of arsenious sulfide. Second one, oxidation, hydrogen sulfide gas is passed through sulfur dioxide. I am getting a colloidal solution of sulfur with the liberation of water. In the third case, particularly gold, silver and platinum salts are prepared by reduction technique. Here I am going to use certain reducing agents like it can be a stannous chloride or hydrazine or aqueous solution of formaldehyde. In case of stannous chloride with auric chloride, I am getting colloidal gold with the liberation of stannic chloride, whereas in case of when auric chloride is treated with aqueous solution of formaldehyde, I got gold colloid with the liberation of formic acid and HCl. The next method is hydrolysis. I told about hydrolysis, particularly the hydroxides and oxides of weakly electropositive metals like iron, aluminium and tin are prepared by this method. So here I am going to prepare reddish brown precipitate of ferric hydroxide salt when ferric chloride solution undergoes hydrolysis. So what is that we are getting? I am getting a reddish brown precipitate of ferric hydroxide with the liberation of HCl. So up to this, preparation of colloids is over. The next one we are going to talk about purification and properties. We are going to discuss about the purification of colloids as well as the properties of the colloids in the next class, children. So up to this, I want everybody to go go through so that very easy for this. It's a very easy lesson. It's a theory lesson, very easy lesson. So I want everybody to go through then and there. We will discuss the remaining topics tomorrow. Thank you, children.